All right, I am looking forward to our topic of awakening the lost art of being kind to yourself. Busy, busy, busy we can be in our daily life without even really realizing it. We go from one thing to another and we often rush here and there, right? It's common. No judgment there. For most people, their daily life is consumed by a sense of relentless speed, constantly pushing for more, and rest seems to become an afterthought. Or worse, taking time for yourself becomes something to be ashamed of and is often avoided at all costs because there's an internal dialogue that we're being selfish, or we don't want to perceive that we're being selfish or lazy, which is also a common feeling for the high achiever. But I challenge that perspective with my soul's perspective from my life experiences and those of my clients. When we continue to experience life in overwhelm, we are not able to live in the present moment. Let that land for a moment, right? When we live in the busyness, in the overwhelm, we are not able to live in the present moment because we're always thinking about 5 steps ahead, right? Not where we are at the moment. We feel scattered often, unfocused, and we often feel that our day is taken up by putting out fires. Business fires, family fires, everyone else's fires. They can include ours too because we kind of intermingle all that, right? Leaving us feeling depleted. And let's not forget those feelings of daily anxiety about doing everything, not measuring up to what you think other people should be doing, or what you think other people think you should be doing. What about the anxiety and the worrying about forgetting something? I've gone to bed more than a few times wondering, I feel like I forgot something today. Or we can be going about our day and go, I think I'm missing something. Those things stay active in our brain. And it's very hard for the brain to relax when this becomes our habit. So there are simple ways to awaken within you the art of being kind to yourself that honors your life path of expansion and combines inspired productivity with intentional self-care, which will allow you to receive while, think about that, it's going to allow you to receive while you are achieving, okay? And this is an exquisite balance of success with self-care. So I'd like to give you 3 examples of how to awaken the lost art of being kind to yourself in your own life, starting today. Number 1, no thinking time. So it's literally that. You're going to create space where you do not think. No thinking time. We're setting this aside, and I'll go into it. This is a wonderful, simple way of being kind to yourself so that you can rejuvenate your energy, and it's called a no thinking day. Now, if a full day becomes overwhelming for you to even imagine or sense or feel, then start with an hour. What would an hour look a day of no thinking? But we're going to go for the big one and call it a no thinking day, okay? A day where you do not think about work at all. You do not mark things off your list, that to-do list. Oh, I know, I have one. And there is no thinking of things that have to be done tomorrow, and there's no pressure to what you're going to be doing in the future. No worrying about exercise, no guilt if you don't exercise, no self-judgment. You get to decide on a no thinking day what you don't have to do. Also avoid running unnecessary errands just to stay busy, right? The only focus of your day is to not think, as in no problem solving in the brain. And I know you know what I mean, because I do it too. We all do it. We are constantly thinking, right, about what's next. or what, like I said, what we forget. It's a gift we have. It works well in my business, works well in my work, I should say, with my clients, but it can get a little out of hand sometimes. Okay? This problem solving, right? So it's meant to be, this day is meant to simply be. So what could you do all day by just simply being? That does not include thinking. Well, anything that you believe, okay, allows you to be kind to yourself, and that brings you inner peace, that allows you to exhale stress, overwhelm, and calm that anxiety. So for example, I wrote some things out. What about a nap? Now you may not have time to take a 10-hour nap, but you could take a 10-minute nap, right? Or longer. Perhaps you've got a, I want to say like a cuddle pet, or a dog or a cat, where you want to cuddle up on the sofa, snuggle, and just bond with your animal. What about a long, lazy walk in the park with no agenda of time? No agenda when you have to be home. Something that I enjoy, I don't live in snow anymore, but when I did, a walk at night in the snow. I would bundle up and put on my boots, and I loved walking at night in the moonlight, even when there wasn't a full moon, because the street lights create that twinkle as it reflects on the twinkling of the snow, right? I loved those nights. It's probably the only thing I truly miss about snow, okay? But I found great peace and stillness in those times. Then, what about sipping tea on your back patio or front porch while watching the sunrise? What about putting your hands in the dirt as you return to an old favorite hobby of gardening? Yesterday, I was feeling a little out of sorts, and I realized that what I teach I needed to implement even a little bit more. And I took about 30 minutes, and I laid down in my backyard on the grass. No blanket, nothing. I literally laid down for a half hour. And I imagined Mother Earth's energy coming up and enveloping me, bringing healing and balance to my body. It brought me an internal harmony. It worked. I encourage you to find kindness in the stillness of no thinking, just being. So now I ask you, what could your no thinking day or time look like? What would it include? Put it in the chat box and let me know what your no thinking time, your no thinking day, no pressure there. I just want you to create space, okay? What would that look like for you? What are some ideas? Oh, I love seeing all these. Samantha, you love walking, meditation, movie marathons. Oh my gosh, aren't marathon, I can't even talk, I'm so excited about it. Marathon's amazing, I agree. Okay, Samantha Conway, I think you have an amazing toolbox of self-care. Hello, Chantal. Productive intention while taking care of myself. Well, it's perfect, okay? So relatable, I know, right? Or trying to go to sleep, Elaine, as you're saying, or trying to go to sleep and not being able to shut down your mind. Oh my gosh. I woke up last night, this happened to me last night at 1:30, and I had all these ideas in my mind. I kid you not, I could not turn them off. I finally got up at 6:30. Now see, the reason, sometimes I will get up, okay, and there's benefit in that. But I didn't, because when I'm wide awake like that and I get up, then I really just start being productive, right? And I don't want to do that. So I kept thinking I'll fall back asleep. it didn't really work. So I completely relate. Hello, Hazel. I love that everybody can relate. Okay, let me go down here. Playing the guitar just for fun of it. Oh my gosh, what a great idea. You know, music really raises the vibration of our cells. It's a great idea to do that, okay? And then, Raylene, I would love to go horseback riding on a super long trail. So do you have horses, Raylene? Do you have a horse? Do you have access to a horse? Could you do it in the evening, right? When the snow, maybe it's hard right now, but maybe when the snow melts. I think you live in snow area, if I remember right. I know you work all day. So how can you equate riding your horse or a horse for a couple hours a day? Let me know, because I'm going to encourage you to do that. Hello, Laura. So you enjoy walking the dog, reading a trashy novel, giving myself a mini facial spa day. That's a great idea, Laura. I love all those ideas. When it gets to summer again, walking for sure. Yeah. I have had, my husband will say to me, Lisa, you just need to learn to embrace the cold. Now, Elaine, you live in Canada. You live in some beyond cold weather. We're having cold everywhere. But he has said this to me, kind of joking to me, our entire married life. Lisa, learn to embrace the cold. So I'll tell you what I do now. Because he's never cold. Okay? So I put on a parka, this big old, like, it's made for 0-degree coat that I have. I put on a knit hat, and we go walk at night. Now, you're going to say, Lisa, come on, really? Yeah, because I'm cold, and I won't do it if I'm cold. I don't function so well when I'm cold. But I bundle up, and I go walk at night with him. And I really am starting to enjoy it. And I'll tease him. I'll say, hey, babe, do you notice? I'm learning to embrace the cold. So we can. And if I lived in your cold weather, Elaine, no, there's just no way I would be out there like that. So I'm in agreement with you. Okay, and then the gardening, yeah. Oh, I love all your ideas, everyone. These are beautiful. Yeah, such good things to take care of yourself. Okay, no problem being late. No problem at all. I'd rather have you here than not. You're in Birmingham. Okay. Oh, yeah, and you have a park that offers, Raylene. Got it. Not available at night, but on weekends. I get it. And you work. I totally understand. And you can come back if you're joining me right now. Let me know where you're from. And you can come back and watch this beginning, because what I'm doing is I'm talking about, you know, the art of awakening to self-care. And that's something that we have to teach ourselves, by the way. If it wasn't modeled, we really have to teach it, okay? To ourselves. We have to allow ourselves permission. So number one was stop thinking. It's a no thinking day or no thinking time. Now, it's important to take action to be kind to yourself. We can't just say, yeah, that's a nice thing I'm going to want to do, if we don't take action. So number two is kindly let go. Kindly let go. We must all learn, all of us, to kindly let go of what we don't need, old patterns. It is a powerful and liberating feeling to let go. Let go of what? How about letting go of those old patterns of the past that seeded feelings and beliefs that if you're not busy, then you're not worthy of more abundance, more love. Because see, busyness does create a validity. It validates on some level who we are. Are you someone who procrastinates and then must play catch up to meet those deadlines? It's very common that this type of procrastination, where we procrastinate to that last minute, is often a learned behavior modeled by a parent. And it begins to really sink in even after we are told to clean our room and we don't do it. But as we get into school and we'd rather go play and we'd rather do other things, we begin this pattern young in our childhood. And as the years continues, while we're through school, college for some, this pattern can stay with us because it becomes a false belief that we only perform our best, okay, and we will only be the most creative when we are under the pressure to perform. How many times in school did you put off writing a term paper until the last 24 hours, if that? It's 11 o'clock, you have class at 7 or 8, and you're up all night writing. Because we begin to create this identity that we can do, we're better when we do it under pressure. It's very hard on the physical body over the years. And so, therefore, we've created this pattern of validating ourselves that our identity, like this type of identity, is the only way to be productive, is to wait, and to be the most creative, is to wait until the 11th hour, the deadline, the time crunch, right? And there is a sense of accomplishment in that. I understand. Busyness can also really be a way for us to earn, like I said, our value. You see, oftentimes, and it's on it, you might be aware of it, it's very common for the subconscious to really attach to the opinions and judgments of others. And so, if it can be as simple as you sitting there reading in your home, and someone comes up to you in the family and says, "What are you doing?" Well, it will trigger this feeling that I'm taking time for myself and I shouldn't be doing this. Or, nobody can tell us that we're wrong in how we spend our time if we don't ever have the time for them to judge us on how we're doing it. Not sure that came out really ideally, but I think you got it. Okay? And then what happens when we are stuck in this busyness and this trapped feeling of having to always be productive, it will cause us to feel guilty if we slow down or take a break. Anybody ever feel guilty slowing down and taking a break? I have. Okay? You can let go of this old pattern by beginning to honor your time. Yeah. When we honor our time, time will expand for us. And it will expand when we honor ourselves, okay? You will get more done with less stress when you are not constantly waiting to the last minute, and when you allow yourself time to not think. Okay? I invite you to kindly let go of old patterns, false beliefs, and old paradigms. So I ask you to put in the chat box, what are you ready to let go of? What are you ready to let go of? What isn't working for you anymore? It can be anything, by the way. All right? It can be the pattern of busyness and not allowing self-care. It can be you might have in a relationship, a friend. Doesn't mean you have to exit their life, but you know what I mean. So I'll come back in here. I know I need my glasses for this part. Okay. Sarah, it's so okay you're late. I would rather have you here. Hi from the Arctic land of Michigan. Yeah, that would be over my comfort zone. I could not embrace it. I would have a hard time. Okay. Oh, I love seeing these. I learned if I cannot sleep, it's making me crazy. I get up, this is from Laura Levy, and start writing everything down to get out of my head. That's really good. That's a great idea. Because I wasn't anxious last night, Laura, and I was really at peace, I just thought I would fall back to sleep, right? But I think it was that I was excited, is what I think. Yeah. You need to let go of your brother. I feel for you. And I say you need to let go, Sarah, you need to let go of not receiving a fair share. You know what, that's a tough one, huh? It is. Because that creates kind of that feeling of no matter what, it's not going to work. And I want you to know that I don't see I don't see that a continued pattern for you. I think it's shifting, all right? And Kristen, the fear of shining. You know, that's a really, shining brightly, that's really insightful. Kristen. And when we fear being seen and we fear shining brightly, often it's because we're afraid that we're going to be busy, or we're afraid that people are going to be dependable on us, or we're afraid. When I say afraid, I use that word lightly, okay? We have a fear, okay, that we might let other people down, and so we don't want that responsibility. Because oftentimes visibility brings responsibility. Not necessarily, though. Okay? It doesn't have to be your story, Kristen. And I know you, and I know you're gifted. So I'm not going to buy that as your paradigm. Letting go of comparing yourself to others. Right, Sean? Oh, that's a tough one, especially if, like, Sarah or any of us feel that we're never getting ahead, or other people have it better than we do. The other thing that'll cause us to feel that way is if we feel like, I'm just going to say the age 40, because that's a common age that just starts to come up. Life is passing you by, and you're not where you wanted to be. Or you see and compare stuff with other people, and you're like, their life is what I wanted. I feel for you. I understand. And as you become, as you become aware of these things, and as you take this quiet time and implement some of these things, those old paradigms can shift. Okay, they really can. Yeah. And I've got some, I do visualizations. Tonight's not a visualization. You can go onto my website. I think I've got free content on there, because it's a kind of twofold. We need to change how we think, but oftentimes we get trapped in, I don't know how to change how I think, right? I don't know how to let go of these things. Oftentimes it's vibrational energy, whether we inherited it or it's learned behavior. And sometimes we can only do what we can do. We can only do so much. These types of things that I'm giving you is really to bring your awareness of where you can feel like you're in control. I don't like to feel like life has control and I don't. I can be in flow now much better than I used to be. But we all need to feel like we have a sense of control in our own life. Thank you for sharing that. That's a big deal. Yeah. All right. This is good. Sending love is an awesome technique. Sending love is an amazing technique. And I think next week, I had already thought about it, so thank you. I want to talk about forgiveness some more. Okay, so forgiveness and sending love are very similar. Yes, we are all thinking pretty much the same here. Oh my gosh. Raylene, not following through. I love all your comments. And Elaine, you're like, of thinking the time I spend on my brain games is wasting times. Why don't you, something that works really well for me and for my clients is to really calendar those times in. So brain games can be really powerful, but they probably don't need 4 hours of it. I'm exaggerating, Elaine. Okay. So calendar the time in there, set a timer. Timers work really well for us, by the way, when we're trying to create a new pattern. It's just an idea, okay? All right, I want to give you tip number 3. So number 3 is stop to start again. Stop to start again. So the third and final tip today is simply and yet very powerful. It's very powerful. It can be done through a wide variety of actions depending on who you are and what you enjoy. Recently, a client of mine said she wanted to stop the feeling of always being on an emotional roller coaster, life roller coaster. Everything she talked about was a roller coaster, of pushing extremely hard in her work, being a perfectionist with her family, and never feeling like she measured up to others. Kind of sounds like all of our comments, right? Yeah, it's normal, okay? Every day, she drove herself beyond her limits. And eventually, literally, she ran smack dab into that wall of utter destruction. Utter exhaustion is a better way. But oftentimes when we become so exhausted, so depleted, it does feel like it's destruction, right? Yeah, so she was feeling lost and completely empty. Have you been there before? Have you ever felt completely empty, exhausted, not knowing? It's a feeling of being lost too, and absolutely energetically depleted. I have. Why do you think this happens? Maybe because over our lifetime we've become obsessed with always being busy, always starting the next thing with no time to celebrate what we got done. No time spending congratulating yourself for doing it. And we never take the time to stop and reflect. Everything she did was focused on output with absolutely zero input. In the simplest terms, her soul tank and her physical body were empty. All her fuel had vanished, which is why she cleared, or we cleared together, because she's a client, the pattern of always being on the go to allow her to stop. Stop the constant doing. Stop the constant worrying. Stop the constant pressure and the negative chatter to complete a never-ending to-do list. And stop, she did. As I helped her focus on one thing she had to get done. And you might go, Lisa, I have got 10 things I have to get done every day. And how often do you finish all 10 things? How often do you do everything but the one thing you had to do? There's a great book called The One Thing, okay? But she wasn't getting the one thing done she needed to do. Everything after that, though, it was like icing on the cake for her. And she changed the behavior. So I'm going to give you something that I do, okay? Is I make my list on the left-hand side. I always have a list, okay? Every night, I've got my list. Then, at night, before I go to bed, I will move 3 things over to the right that I need to have done, starting with the first thing that has to be done the next day. Okay? Then if I get the other 2 things done, oh my gosh, right? It's okay. If I don't, that goes up to the top and I bring another one over. Okay? It works really well for me, and it seems to work for my clients, all right? The other thing, like I brought up earlier, is I had her start scheduling in 15-minute breaks to walk around the block during the day. If you are a busy person, it's very hard to say, I'm going to go walk around the block. It just is. And oftentimes in our corporate world, right, we don't have that time. I understand. You could put your shoes on and walk at lunch. The point is be creative. It's not going to fit everyone. Then what she did is, and this was a big deal, and she went by herself, she treated herself to a weekend in the gorgeous red rocks of Sedona, Arizona. And she did nothing. She slept in, sometimes she ate breakfast, sometimes she didn't. She went for walks. She didn't do anything. She didn't do anything. She walked through crystal stores. She just enjoyed beautiful Sedona, Arizona. She broke the pattern of always being on by pausing to stop and then start again. She refilled her soul tank. She is able to feel more passion for her life purpose. She loves serving others. But when we always serve and we don't refill and we don't stop, it's really hard to continue it. Now she is currently back into the sense of flow and peace inside of her renewed productivity. She had to stop, everyone. You have to stop. You have to pause and then start again. What can you do, even if it was 3 times a week, even if it was 1 time a week? What can you do to stop that you enjoy doing and then start again? Put it down there. I like stop again, start again too. Yeah. Running on vapors. Yeah. Before I go to sleep, I give thanks for the blessings of the day. It's very important, Elaine, to give gratitude. I love that you brought it up. Gratitude changes our vibrational energy, everybody. It really does. Sometimes I run away from the tasks that will help me. Sarah, that is now roll with me here, because anybody can fall in this, okay? All right? But it's because we don't feel worthy to spend time with ourselves. We don't feel worthy, right? Like we can actually do what we want to do. Whether it's a task, right, that we know we have to get done. I understand where you are. And so just do the one thing, then you can reward yourself doing the other thing that you were going to do first. Does that make sense? Yeah? Yeah. Okay. And you all, okay. I am not positive I'm pronouncing your name right, so forgive me. Toniette. It's very pretty to look at, but I'm afraid I am not saying it well. But you always say today was a great day in spite of. You know, that is something that I do in the morning. I always, when I wake up, say it's going to be a great day, whether I believe it or not. It's a great way to step out of anxiety if you're someone that wakes up with anxiety. And I love saying it was a great day. That's a great idea. Look at all these great ideas. See how we contribute to each other, and how I need you, and you help create this platform that I think is pretty beautiful. All right. Stop and appreciate how far I've come. I like that. And reward yourself with some brain games. See? That's perfect. Reward yourself with what you normally procrastinate with. So, for example, some people that are real high achievers, they'll get ready to get ready, right? Where they have to have everything done in their day before they can do what they need to do. And so I often suggest do what you have to do, and then come back and reward yourself by doing those things that you normally do first. It's really a game changer. Okay. Oh my gosh, I just love being with you. Okay, let me get back in here. As I leave you today, okay, I hope that you'll begin to honor yourself. You have to reflect. If we're always busy, we can't pause long enough, to be able to take action in our life, right? Because if we're always busy, then very rarely do we allow ourselves the time to really do what we want to do, to have our hopes and dreams come to fruition, to take action in them. So I want you to focus, okay, and really try to bring your awareness that it is in your divine right to honor your journey by rediscovering the lost art of being kind to yourself. Carol Shields says it this way: go for long walks, indulge in hot baths, question your assumptions, be kind to yourself, and live for the moment. Loosen up, scream, curse the world, count your blessings, just let go. Just be. Here they are again, okay? One is a no thinking time or no thinking day. You can work up to it, okay? Have you ever done that? Have you literally just taken a day and not done anything? Now I know that we're all in different seasons of our life. It would be very hard for me to do that for a full day. But if I calendar it, I can. That's how I work with this, as I put it in my calendar. The next day, I always have more energy. I always feel like, oh my gosh, Lisa, you can do anything today. It's a game changer, okay? Then, Number 2 is kindly let go. Just let go of the worrying. Let go of what doesn't work. Let go of old stories and paradigms. Get yourself on them. Let go. Let go of what you think has to be done. Let go of the paradigm of what is success. And let go of the false belief that you have to know the end from the beginning. We'll never take action because it's too overwhelming. If we have to know what we're supposed to do in our life, it's too overwhelming. So let go of that paradigm. You have to know the end from the beginning. And then lastly, I want you to stop to start again. Yeah, stop to start again. I love having you part of my community. Thank you for being here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Anybody have a question for me? Hi, Amanda. Yes, but I still overthink and drive myself crazy. You can get used to it. Do some grounding outside. Yeah. Your body will begin to reprogram, unprogram, let go. Once you get I'll tell you what worked for me, and I just said it, but I'm going to phrase it a little bit differently. I cannot wake up one day and say, okay, this is my no thinking day. Says me ever, okay? But I can put it in my calendar once a quarter. And what that does for the subconscious is it gives us that knowingness that we are going to get a break. But if we don't, for me, if I don't calendar in the break, I feel guilty. I do. Or I tell myself why I have to get something done. Yeah, it takes some practice. And I come and go with it. It's a whole nother subject, but in human design, I am a, oh my gosh, generator. Well, let's put this in perspective. A generator, by nature, is always busy. I mean, they love to be busy. Once I found and really honored my life purpose, which is helping other people reach theirs, I tell you what, everybody, my work is not work. And so when somebody says to me, why are you busy? It doesn't even resonate. I have to slow myself down. I need to make sure I shut my computer off at a certain time. But I don't feel like I overwork because I love what I do. And it's part of my energy blueprint. But I still have to take care of myself. Because if I don't, a few months will go on and I tank out. Maybe you do really well at taking care of yourself. I would love that if you did. Okay. All right, everyone. Sean, you have the same replying, yeah. Oh, I would love a song made just for me. Thank you. Right? You write songs? I think you need to write a song for the group. Okay? That's so amazing. All right, everyone. I don't want to keep you. I want to make these videos doable for you to watch. All right? And if you're watching on the replay, let me know. Say hello. And I want you to pick something this week. Which one of those 3 are you going to pick? Let me know that you're going to practice. Are you going to practice no thinking time? Are you going to practice letting go? Are you going to practice stopping to start again? Let me know what you're going to do. Okay, you just put it in there, right? Tell me what you're going to do of those, all right? Sending you lots of love and gratitude that you're with me. Thank you for joining me live. I love it. It feeds my soul to feel like I can contribute to your life. It feeds my soul to see you on here, even if it's in text and word. It means a lot to me. All right, everyone. Bye.